Welcome to the official Lakes International Comic Art Festival podcast. My name's Ian.
And my name's Nikki, bringing you the best in comics and graphic novels and updates from the festival.
Hello and welcome to the Lakes International Comic Art Festival podcast, episode 98. My name is Ian.
And I'm Nikki.
And we've got two other beautiful people with us today. Please say hello.
How do? I'm Pete.
And I'm Mike.
Yeah, Mike and Pete are on the show.
Yay!
The full main show. Welcome, guys, and thank you for coming on, giving us your time for this evening. So this episode is a preview of the Why do I say that?
I don't know.
It's
too many squats.
A preview of the Lakes International Comic Art Festival 2021. After I could stop and record, I'm not going to.
Don't do it.
After last year's online event, we are now back in the real world, and everyone can come and visit everything and go and see everybody once again.
Yay!
So, Pete, you're not coming.
No, family event, unfortunately.
When was the last time you didn't come? When did you? Was it?
I've been every time since. What was my first year? 2015, possibly.
2015. Was that the first year we met you then?
I think so. Yeah, I was tabling on my own. I was
By
upstairs
the stage.
in the clock tower.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was. We were there.
2015, 2016. I think I came with Daisy.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it was 2016 on my own, 17 with Daisy, 18 with Daisy, 19 with Sock.
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go. So 4 years. Yeah. I had a cracking run. Definitely my favourite festival of the year.
But as you say, you were due to be coming up until last minute, so...
Yeah, it can't be helped. I mean, things that happened last year, we're playing catch-up, to a certain extent this year. But, it's just bad timing, but nothing you can change.
And you've just finished your Kickstarter, though, for the Cat Food Comics 3-pack, haven't you?
Yeah, that ran, what was that, through August?
Mm-hmm.
No, it ran through July, and I stupidly said I'd have it all delivered by August.
I've not seen it come through my door yet.
Yeah, I know. Forgetting things like, you've got to deliver 2 of your daughters to university in August. Don't forget that. So, and then the money doesn't come till like 2 weeks into August or something like that. So, completely messed that up. But got the boxes now, surrounded by boxes now. So, no excuse, and work's a bit quiet. So, yes, I'll be packing all of the envelopes next week.
Excellent. Look forward to that. Is that pack going to be going on general sale as well, or is it Kickstarter exclusive?
We did overprint. The main problem is just the bags themselves. I had to order them from, I think it was something like Sweden. And no joke, it cost as much to deliver them as it did to buy them. So I think it's all dependent on that. There'll be a few over, but we'll just have to see. If I can get alternate bags, I think we might be able to do it.
What have you been up to, Mike, recently?
Well, slowly returning to the world. I guess the main thing I've been up to is helping start a new tabletop gaming club with
what fool
with somebody else.
What idiot would want to do something like that? We can talk briefly about that by all means, because that's been fun.
I think it was us crying out to socialise with people.
Yeah.
All of us that got together to kind of put that together, and it's going great guns, isn't it?
It's crazy positive. There's nothing negative about it whatsoever. There's so many people.
And lots of people playing all sorts of tabletop games.
I get to play D&D.
I got Nikki to come into my game that I'm starting next week.
She's been reading the book today. She's already decided what character she wants to be and everything. So
I've got my spells. I'm sorted.
Brilliant.
We'll put a link up if anyone's interested in the Kendall Club. We'll just stick a link up because it's a beautiful website that I designed. Using WordPress. Thank you, WordPress, for all the templates. You're great. And an amazing logo done by Superstar Pete again. You still need to bill us for that, Pete. I'm going to keep going at you until you actually do. Right.
It is an awesome logo. Thank you very much for doing that. That is just brilliant.
Yeah. No, it's...
my pleasure. I'm a sucker for a logo.
don't tell the internet that, Jesus. And Nikki, you've been busy doing a window display.
Yes, that's up.
That's
it had slipped. Like 5 minutes later, I went past one of the suckers and got boink. I was like, I can't see anything.
So where's that?
That's at the Brew Brothers.
The Brew Brothers, which is in between the Clock Tower and
Iceland.
The Brewery Arts Centre. Do you want to give a brief overview?
Well, I went with the heroes and heroines, and I took a different look at it, and I looked at pets and how they've helped us through COVID, especially now we're trying to get back to normal and it's a lot of anxiety, COVID anxiety. It's just a look at how your pet is your comfort blanket, really.
Brilliant.
To
That's a good
face
idea.
the world. So
Done in your whimsical watercolour.
whimsical. Yeah, that'll be it. And rustic frames.
Rustic frames, homemade.
They look awful from behind.
Oh, well, no one's looking behind. Well, actually, no, they are. They have to sit right in front of them when they're sat looking out the window, but that's not the point. We didn't think of that.
No, we didn't.
Right, so basically on this episode, we're going to run through the programme, which is going to be going up online very soon. Mm-hmm. There's going to be minimal print copies available this year. It's mainly going to be digital copies of the programme, because I think they end up just having loads wasted every year, because you always overprint. As comic creators well know, to get those cheap deals, you got to print more. So it's mainly going to be all online, the programme. So at the minute, I don't think it's up, but as soon as it's up, we'll send a link out there.
Yep.
So first of all, right, we've all guys have got the programme in front of them. What do we think of this Dave Mckean artwork on the front page? It's just...
I love it.
Oh,
isn't it?
yeah.
So good.
It's striking, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Haunting.
I think it's the best
Yeah.
they've ever had.
Yeah, I do. I really, really like it.
Like
It's got that sort of exploring comics vibe to it, done in, an incredible way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It is. It's absolutely spot on.
Yeah.
His artwork is always stunning and different
Yes.
at the same time.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah,
fresh.
totally.
And slightly creepy.
And slightly creepy.
But I like
I was going to say, I bet the brief was try and be less creepy than you normally are. And this is probably the best he can manage.
I very briefly met Dave Mckean once. I think he's Reading based. He was about 20 or 30 years ago when I bumped into him. There was one of those quite early instances of taking over shops. There's some empty shops and they put a load of artists in Reading. We had friends there. We decided to look around them. So we're mooching through these quite dark, small little shops. And then I come across this massive painting of one of the Sandman covers, which was absolutely massive. You wouldn't believe how big it was when you're used to seeing it as reduced down as it was. And I didn't notice, but Dave Mckean was sat next to the painting. I was so blown away by the artwork, and I completely missed him. So I'm there telling on what it was and where it was from, and then he was like, "Yes, that's all true." And then just kind of, what? Yeah, amazing stuff.
Obviously, he will be at the Lakes this year, so if you're going along, then
Yeah.
go and tell him that story.
Got a signed print, haven't we? So
Yes.
Yeah.
Then the guest list is the next couple of pages, which we'll ignore that for now because we're probably going to talk about most of these guests as we go through the festival lineup. So, Friday. Each year they have the Comics Up Close event, which is more an educational look into comics, more for the people who are studying it or are professionals / amateurs selling their comics. It's not something we've ever tried. No. Is this something you think you'd consider trying, Pete, down the line?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'll take any angle on comics. There's always usually something in there that can get your brain kicked in a different direction, or you'll get introduced to something that fires your juices up. Inevitably, any work by a creator that you've not seen before is intriguing. And then one of the great things about the festival is it does have this global sort of approach to comics, which I'm continually finding comics from different countries. Gustavo Vargas is a font of knowledge in terms of Latin American and Spanish and South American comics, and he's shown me stuff. I've bought volumes that I can't read, but just look gorgeous. You know what I mean? So to a certain extent, it's intriguing to find there's always an element of some comics that you can form your own, follow and form your own story, even if you're not. And it isn't something that I think a lot of creators stick to, that there should be some understanding of your comic without the words there. So yeah, I'm sure there's lots of comic discussions in this academic realm that I'd be interested in, definitely.
Yeah, maybe something worth looking at 1 year. I think it'd probably just go above my head, as I'm just not clever enough for all that sort of talk. So we'll jump forward to the Friday night event, which is always wonderful, as Mike will vouch for, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm a little worried I won't. Well, I don't think I'm going to be able to make the Friday. I might be able to. I'm travelling down from quite a distance back home that day. But the big Friday event is Battle of the Tombs, and it's a kind of familiar format that they've done before. Of you take on a character and you kind of you have to put an argument forward. So similar, I always think of the Marvel versus DC debate they did a few years ago.
I
thought that was terrific fun.
Conclusion was completely wrong.
Yay, Marvel!
Oh yes, we were sat next to each other, and yes, I won. Yes, but this is all backed by the McGarrys doing a live draw, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I think people are going to adopt a cartoon character, aren't they? And it's the last one to get thrown out of a balloon that's sinking. So, yeah, they're always good value for money, those ones, aren't they?
They are. It's sort of always a good start.
Yeah. It's always a giggle.
It is always a giggle. And the McGarry's drawing is always entertaining.
They're good.
As well, let's be honest.
Yeah, definitely.
That is skill. And then also, if you want to keep on going, we've got the festival karaoke.
Yeah, we're avoiding that.
on
Can you
the
imagine
evening.
us lot singing? Yeah.
Something to note this year at the Lakes, the Ruskin's bar is not being used.
No.
I'm assuming that's due to the size and the fact we are still being a bit COVID safe. So everything's being done in the brewery for the evenings. Evening slots in the malt room, which is much bigger. Much bigger room. That's the one with the bar, I'm thinking, right, as well.
It's the one downstairs.
Downstairs, yeah. So if you want to sing along and you got a ticket, then go to the festival karaoke. I think I'll be passing on that. It's not quite my thing. Right. So Saturday, main day. We'll go past that. So we are just going through this page by page on this program. Again, as usual, they've got numerous workshops, talks, classes going on. This year, they've done a big focus on Little Lycath.
Yes.
So they've always had kids involved in the event, but they're really making something of it this year, which is superb. The Shakespeare Centre, which is in between the Clock Tower and the brewery, which they've had tables there before.
I've been there.
You have, but you've sat in there and
in
sold
there.
your wares.
I did. It was very rainy.
It was the worst weather.
Oh yes.
With the cobblestones. There's people killing themselves to get in there.
This year is devoted purely to the kids side of things, rather than going in a shopping centre. Again, thinking COVID safety as best they can. So they can focus with all the children's workshops and children's creators in a larger space, not surrounded by shoppers and so forth, which I think will be very positive.
Yeah.
So we've got exquisite characters. I can't speak tonight. I've been exercising. It's done me in.
Exquisite characters.
Well, you read it.
That's a workshop with Sarah Beckham. And that's Surrealist drawing game, which will be used to create unique and fun characters. The workshop will focus on the drawing game. So it's 15 child places. And it's for 5 to 12-year-olds.
That sounds cool.
You're not 5 to 12.
I don't care. my drawing age is generally
5.
5.
Yeah, just nipping on your knees. I did chat to Sean Phillips last, so what was that, 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And he'd just been to one of these workshops with the kids, and he was so buzzing because he was really taken with the enthusiasm, and it was a kind of, I'll draw something for you, you draw something for me. Mm-hmm. So he would ask them something, like a car or a cat, and they draw that, and then he'd say, what do you want me to draw? And they'd come up with the most bonkers things off the top of his head, and it's stuff that he'd never ever thought to have drawn or would have considered it, monsters, carrying battleships in a hot air balloon and all this kind of, there's that competition that kids put on you when they know they can draw. They think that they can outthink you, and like if they put too many ideas. And he was absolutely buzzing. It does sound like a hoot.
I think you'd suit well in one of those kiddie things. Hey, I really do. I've said it before. I think you'd do well.
I've done workshops. Yeah. We've done workshops in Swansea. Me and Mark Hughes. We've done quite a few of these. And by the end of the day, you've got parents absolutely gobsmacked that their kids have sat at a table quietly, absorbed as long as they have. They're like, I don't know what's happening, he said, but you won't sit still at home. Whereas they've absolutely intently sat there and completed all a whole page of a comic. It's incredible. Brilliant. I love it. Yeah.
Talking of Sean Phillips, it's like you planned this. The next page.
The next professional.
Sean and Jacob Phillips. It runs in a family. So Julie Tate's hosting an event where they're discussing Sean and Jacob's working relationship. It's been quite amazing to see Jacob's growth the past 3 years. Not long.
4.
From just being his son to being this outstanding creator in his own right. Mm-hmm. So I think that'll be quite an interesting listen. And Sean's always value for money to go and have a listen to him yarp on.
They're doing it in a Mr. and Mrs. style, I believe. it mentions online.
Yes.
And there's a few of these things this time where they're kind of adopting different game show formats, I think. Just saying, we paved the way there a little bit on our previous podcast, but
we'll take the royalties. We'll take the money. Move on then to Comics Can Change the World. Repressive regimes. Obviously, Comics Can Change the World is one of the big focuses this year at the Lakes, and there's a lot going on in the background and creating a book as well. This is in partnership with Myriad, and Comics Can Really Change the World. Look at V for Vendetta and how those masks now symbolise social action worldwide. So this is Daryl Cunningham talking about his latest book, and Wang Ning will join from Beijing, hopefully in person, as it says, to talk about his book as well. So yeah, always interesting, especially when Myriad's involved. I find their books are certainly make you think. Yes, that's the word. Have you two read Daryl's works at all?
Go on, Mike.
I have. I did quite a lot of sort of reading of political style sort of books for a while, and especially culture clash ones as well. Funnily enough, that's where I came across Saya Beckham as well, her Mongrel book, which it's all about Bangladeshi Muslim culture and coming to Britain and all that kind of stuff. And then I did a whole raft of sort of culture and political type ones for a podcast a while ago, which don't think I actually completed. One of those half hanging in the wind ones. But I do find this stuff kind of interesting, actually.
Yeah, it makes you think.
Yeah, I've read some of Daryl's stuff. I like the fact that he's largely centered on non-fiction, which I do enjoy exploring. I read a lot of non-fiction in real books as opposed to comics. I have been leaning more towards non-fiction in recent years, and but it is interesting that comics are viewed differently and are seen perhaps a lot more subversively in some countries of the world. When you consider that in terms of political comics, it's really sort of Steve Bell and sort of a few comic strips and the broadsheets that people might think of, and that's largely poking fun, isn't it? And sort of like holding people up to ridicule. You wouldn't believe that ever had a force in this country, but the fact that it is a way of getting the message across abroad, I think that's going to be really interesting.
It's funny they mentioned the V for Vendetta mask as well. I think we had a chat about that. I mean, comics do change the world, but we had a chat about like the Punisher symbol and how that's used in the military, and Captain America's shield is being very inappropriately used as well by certain far-right organisations and stuff. So you can't always choose what kind of change comics make.
Yeah, it's very true.
As with anything, sadly. Yeah.
Good point.
But at least they're getting out there in some way. It's even if they're being used for wrong, it's still they're getting out there, which has got to be positive. Yeah. The next one is another Little Lycaf workshop, Drawing Time in Comics with Matt Smith. How does time work in comics when we move across a page? How does a cartoonist show the passage of time? A 90-minute workshop with Matt Smith, and that actually sounds really interesting. Age 12 plus, but that I think for anyone aspiring to create comics could be very useful, I feel.
Yeah, it is interesting how some kids can go straight into it and not think about it, and other kids you can have quite a long conversation because they want to know what they're supposed to put in the box. Some people just run with it, and then the others are like, I suppose it's like some people need to be told or helped to read a comic, and some people go straight into it. Some people have got access to that visual language straight away, and some people haven't. So I'd be interested to see how he gets that across. It's a great concept to take up with him, definitely.
Yes, yeah.
I'm assuming the 12 plus means that it's not part of Little Lycaf, but it's the anyone over 12.
It does say Little Lycaf, so I think it is aimed at
it does.
teenage, 12 plus, but it's not saying
that there's an age.
In fact, it says there's a price. Over 18s pay more.
Under
so
18s, so you must be able to.
Yeah. So we can.
Oh, interesting.
The next one. Do you want to give us a shout on this one?
It's a live draw, so
best events.
Best events.
The
The art of creation. Is there anything more mesmerising and revealing than watching great artists do their thing before your very eyes? There you go. So this session, we watched 4 of our top European guests at work.
I just love the live draws.
I love the live draws.
They are what make the festival.
Yeah,
for me, because you just can't see it anywhere else. And that's something I feel sorry for you, Pete, not being able to go and see these.
Yeah,
I'm sulking. Not fair. I've listened to a few live draws that have been released, which sounded great, but no, I've not managed. But what's not to like in it? I mean, it's partly, I'm sure, what a lot of people want to see when they come to these things. It's great they've got technology to be able to throw it up on a screen instead of just get your sketch from somebody. But it looks amazing.
Part of me feels next year maybe you shouldn't come from behind a table. You should come as press. You should come as a guest.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have Silverbeard too next year.
You can sell it from a bag while you're walking around. It'll be fine.
Well, there'll be queues of people. There'll be clamoring. I won't be able to move for people wanting Silverbeard too. It's gonna be like Elvis Returns.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
No. It will be.
I've instantly regretted saying that. Good God.
Then we continue again with a little Lycaf workshop. 10 funny things with Mark Jackson. Always entertaining and brilliant with the kids. Mm-hmm. So if you've got some kids, get them along there, and they'll be entertained for an hour or two. Then we've got an event that is a star event. In Raptor with Dave Mckean. Dave Mckean, one of the world's most respected comics creators, discusses new graphic novel Raptor and the future projects with Paul Gravatt. I think this is one I'd be interested in going to for sure. I think this is one that is going to be fighting to get in. Yeah. To go and see. Is this one you'd go for, Mike?
Yeah, I think this is one of the headliners, isn't it? And it's the first thing. It's the first time he's doing something for himself, isn't it? Comics wise, so I think there's a lot of interest to see what that looks like.
It clashes.
Does it?
With the live draw.
Oh man!
Just looked.
Oh, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, they always throw these hard decisions at you, don't they?
Oh, what you gonna do?
Man. We'll discuss that.
Oh.
I see. Depending on what I've got an idea. We'll come. Anyway. We just need somebody to record the chat of Dave McKean, you see. That's all we need to do.
That's fine. We can stick a recorder down.
Is Raptor already out then?
It is. No, I'm sure it is, yeah. It's not been out long, but it is out now.
Cool.
I believe.
Because that's good.
Yeah, it's not.
So that's going to be that'll be in the festival bookshop as well then. Probably.
Yeah, it should be, yeah.
It'll be beautiful.
Nice.
But surely there's going to be a signing session.
Yeah.
There is in page 45 on the Saturday, I think, off the top of my head.
Probably afterwards.
Yeah, quite possibly.
If they got any sense, if they'd have asked me, I'd have suggested that.
Then we've got another Myriad edition and Myriad showcase.
There you go.
Again, Myriad's always worth having a look at. And they'll be discussing different ideas, exploring comic forms with many of their creators.
Yeah.
So well worth popping along to that if it doesn't clash with anything. There you go. You can do Dave McKean and jump to that. There we go.
I'm going to the live draw.
It's a lovely image they've got in the programme for that.
There is, isn't there? Yeah.
For Dave McKean.
For the Carol Isaacs.
Carol Isaacs, yeah. It's really nice.
I was going to shout out about Zara Slattery as well. She's got a really interesting life story. She did a book called Coma.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Amazing book.
Well worth.
Yeah.
Look at that.
That was, yeah.
It was just done so well with two different perspectives.
Yeah, but you took on one and I took on the other.
That's weird.
We got different things out of it, didn't we?
Yeah. Odd, but good. And then Viz is back, as always. Thrilling daredevil stunts with Viz. So this year at Kendall, the editors of Viz will be performing their most ambitious stunt yet. Viz, the Viz guys are always entertaining.
Yes.
Whatever they do, they are just pure comedians.
They're mental.
They are mental.
Yeah.
We're both now we're going a bit quiet because all of us are reading through this,
yes,
trying to work out exactly what the event is.
I'm just surprised it wasn't described as cunning stunts.
Yes, I thought they missed the obvious. Yeah.
I was put in the event that Chester Zoo won't lend us any evidence.
I think this is one you've just got to go prepared for a little bit of naughtiness.
Yes.
A little bit of naughtiness.
Yeah.
Did you both read Viz? I was about to say growing up, but you're older than us, so.
Yeah, I mean, we're having these conversations with girls at the moment of that kind of like we were around before. So, it's kind of like we were around before Viz, So, yeah, it was early days of Viz that we were watching it, reading it. We bought a shaky wakey alarm clock. And we had that, and I have got, funnily enough, I've got one of Viz's top tips printed out and stuck to my wall. Imagine you're a teenager again by verbally abusing someone and then 20 minutes later asking for a lift somewhere. I wonder why I have that on my wall.
We'll jump on then. You've got That Texas Blood. So you've got Chris Condon and Jacob Phillips chatting about their work that's been going on the past year or so. Mm-hmm. It's not been out that long. It's not one I've dived into as of yet.
It's a horror-tinged take on crime in Texas.
Yeah, it's one I do want to read, I must admit.
That does sound
I've read volume 1.
Oh, and you enjoyed it?
It's good. It's slow and brooding.
Okay.
Ooh.
I understand it's not just the setting. There is more than that. Why people compare it to No Country for Old Men.
Okay.
Good. Very good.
Good. And again, it just shows, Jacob jumping out there again.
Oh,
as
yeah.
we discussed earlier.
Hosted by John Mckean.
Ah, yes. Always interesting.
Festival character.
Yeah.
If he's not hosting there, he'll be in the bar.
Or asleep.
I've got photos of John performing in the audience at one of the early festival karaoke events.
In fact, he's jumped up on before when we've been sat watching. He's dived into the karaoke before now.
Brilliant.
Fair play. Another little ICAF workshop on the Saturday. Awesome comics adventures with Neil Cameron, artist for the Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
Each session includes the opportunity to explore comics activities, read comics, take part in creative workshops, and have a chat. So another good one for the kids.
That's 12 plus as well.
12 plus as well, yeah.
And it's free.
You can't beat some comic activities.
Let's move on. Right, I'm going to speed through a little bit because we're slowing up on each page.
Are we?
No, it's fine. Self-Made Hero launches Catalyst. Self-Made Hero seems to always launches a book at the festival.
Oh, yeah.
One of the close partners with the festival, and we generally love their stuff, that's for sure. Over 3 months, 2021, 7 exceptional and emerging comic book artists have been mentored by 4 established graphic novel creators with the aim of reflecting diversity and wealth of talent in the UK's comic scene. So this is where you just see some new creators coming out of nowhere.
Yes, yeah.
It just gives them that chance.
Forward, didn't you, for this one?
I think so, yeah. So, hosted by Emma Haley. Interesting.
Very.
Yeah, looks intriguing.
And then Comics Can Change the World, the power of political cartoons. Session is simulcast with NCS Fest in America.
Yep.
There's a few of these, isn't there?
There's
quite a few simulcasts with throughout the weekend.
Yeah.
I know it's all great technology. I just always think of 1980s Eurovision Song Contest. so somebody shouting, "Norway, are you there?" But it'd be interesting to see.
I think this is just all again linked to the last year's doing it online. It's sort of linking it together through that. So it's intriguing that they're keeping that going.
Yeah.
I think it's nice. I'm glad they are. I mean, there's a certain connectivity that happened during the pandemic that certainly for me opened up access to people through online events, similar to the writing class that Joe Kelly gave at the festival.
Yeah.
There's been others of those been made available on various websites and places so that you could contact professionals that you'd never have had really much chance to meet otherwise. So I'm really glad it's continuing. I hoped it would be seen as, something that carried on alongside cons, really, that hopefully these professionals have realised that they can safely reach out and talk to the great unwashed and still, do the meet and greets in person. Yeah. So I think it's great.
And what the Lakes are doing this year, which is perfect for people like Pete, they are live streaming some of their events as well. Not all of them, just around a small selection. So if you can't make it, you can get involved.
I think that's a great idea.
Next, we've got Clarice Tudor, The Secret Formulas of Comedy Timing in Comic Strips. Is that, again, I'm going to jump to you, Pete, being the creator. How do you find comedic timing and how do you work with it? Did you...
If I was any good at it, I would have a much funnier answer.
See, that's quite funny. It's all right.
You're always told the secret's in the timing. So I don't know. I don't think. I'd have to go and learn how to do it. I'm not. I'm not convinced I could write anything funny.
No, you see, I'm sitting here thinking of your Monster Kids.
Oh yeah, true.
And that is sort of that style of comic. So
To be fair, I had help. I didn't write those. I kind of. It's interesting when something's written and it's written for a comic, and when you read it and it's going to be funny, as the person who's going to draw it, then you can definitely have an idea of the timing. Mm-hmm. You know how to sell or pace a joke in a comic, but don't necessarily, particularly have the chops in coming up with it, probably. But yeah, Monster Kids was written by Ricky Weber and Adam Wilmot.
Okay.
The first one was just Adam Wilmot. Later ones where Ricky was involved, and yeah, as a form, I think I can hone it, but it's difficult to come up with it.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm useless at it also.
Oh, is this where we have to get a violin out or
yes.
something? Right.
Yes. Check it out, an extravaganza of comic art from the Czech Republic. This one's got a mix of discussion and live drawing and presentations on Czech comic art. Mm-hmm. So again, live drawing.
Yeah.
I'm on it.
Yeah.
I don't care.
I am. Strangely enough, I don't know a lot about Czech artists, which wouldn't be odd to say, but I did live in Prague. Well, I worked and lived in Prague for a while. And it's amazing how much of their artwork is very comic art style. And they do a lot of political stuff, which was, I know the rough history of the revolution and everything, but in Czech it's completely over your head sort of thing. But no, I'm really interested in seeing that one.
Yeah, no, and it's an hour and a half.
An hour and a half is quite a long one, that one.
So there's got to be a lot of content. Yeah. So
do you want a Czech geek fact?
Go for it.
Do you know the term robot?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Came from a Czech play. It derived from a play called I don't know what the play was called actually, but the term in the play was a company called Roussen's Universal Robots, and that was the first time the term robot was used. It was in this Czech play.
Oh.
Czech writer Karel Čapek.
Well, I knew the fact, but I didn't know who wrote it. I'll give you that.
Okay, Mike. Okay, I might have Wikipedia open.
Now, you see, if you're looking at the programme, it actually has it written on the picture at the top there.
Doesn't it?
That's what reminded me. Just to be extra poncy.
Well, we didn't know. So.
It's also referred to in Chaikin's Times Squared, which is, I think, where I followed the trail from to find out. That's when I learnt it, so early 80s. But yeah, that's a great image on that page as well.
Yeah, so much going on in that image.
Yeah, isn't it? Katrina Kupova. Brilliant.
Yep.
Then we jump to Comics Can Save the World, 10 years to save the world. Now, this is not just in comics, it's a huge event going on worldwide, isn't it, to try and change climate change.
Yeah.
COP26 is the 26th United Nations Climate Change Conference taking place in Glasgow. And this,
Where is it taking place?
Shut up. The British Council has commissioned the Lakes and Comiket, a Philippines comic festival, to produce 10 years to save the world. A collection of 10 comics representing each of the 10 years left to save the world, focusing on different issues and different climate actions. This is a launch session where you meet all the artists and just talk about the book that's coming out. So a lot of artists involved in this.
Is this the one where they got celebrities to write?
I believe celebrities involved in the whole event. I don't know if they involve this graphic novel, but
don't think it's this one.
There's other things going on with
this
There's a similar
cause.
one.
I read about that on the BBC News website. They've got Cara Delevingne, Andy Serkis, Richard Curtis, and Taika Waititi involved.
Yeah.
But
I think Ricky Gervais did one as well, didn't he?
It's all linked to the same thing, isn't it? But not this book.
It's the same. It's the same cause. I think a different company. A different organisation.
Ooh, okay, interesting.
No, that could be very interesting. And then I think it's to sort of close Saturday almost. Meet Jeff Lemire. Mm-hmm. It's comics royalty time. Jeff, unfortunately, isn't going to be over here. Thank you, COVID. Mm-hmm. But they are live streaming a chat with Jeff to talk about his work and his life. I mean, if you're too busy, just listen to the podcast a few episodes ago. You'll be fine.
Can we officially call him friend of the show then?
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
He's my friend. I think you'll find he follows us on Twitter as well. Yeah, baby. But no, they're also going to do a special live edition of Desert Island Comics as well, which could be really fun.
Yeah.
So, yeah, go meet my mate Jeff. And then, as usual, they've got some movies. Art School Confidential, if you just want to put your feet up. And I think they've got Roach Position following day as well. So they're always good to have some movies up there.
I have to admit, when I saw Art School Confidential, I was hoping they were going to do a double bill. I've been trying to buy Ghost World for ages to watch.
Okay.
I've got the book, but I loved that film. I think it's a really good adaptation of it. It would have been a really good cult evening that to have one after the other.
And then we've actually got a bit of a later event, which usually they've stopped by now, but they were spreading it out by looks of it. At Home with Simon Hanselman, best known for his Meg, Mog and Owl series of books. Simon has a unique perspective on life, art and storytelling. So this is a chat with Alex Fitch, and he's going to be doing that from his home in Seattle. So again, utilising the streaming to get people involved that probably couldn't, thanks to that wonderful COVID again.
Ghost World, hire it on Amazon.
Oh, there you go. And then if you're up for, after all that, you're up for an evening of fun, frolics and entertainment. You've got Stand Up for Comic Art, from which is free entry at the Warehouse in the Brewery Arts Centre. It's an evening of comic readings from international stars and local heroes, hosted by Oliver East.
Redo your stand-up moment? Or did you peek?
It's comic readings, not...
Oh, not you.
No.
Right.
I'm too famous for that event.
It does say local heroes.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
Would you consider yourself a local hero?
Of course I'm a local hero.
Okay.
We'll leave it at that. So the Saturday night, you've got the NCS Fest finale. Cartoonist Scott Shaw and his amazing zoo crew. Oh, that's some of his work. Presents a slideshow of the craziest comic books ever published. But then we've got... so I'm reading this while talking.
The apocalypse, the listening or playing of cyber skiffle will be a crime with a penalty of death by backing tapes. I don't even know. Haven't experienced this Sonic script before it becomes too dangerous and popular.
And then the one which I'm intrigued with.
We are totally going to this.
International DJ extraordinaire and one of Lycast's best and biggest friends, Yomini Ayega.
Friend of the podcast.
Ayeni, I can never say his name. Drop some tunes. Yomi is just...
Yoms is great.
Oh, he's amazing.
He's so good.
You just want to cuddle him. Just want to cuddle him.
I read that with glee when I saw the first programme.
So yeah, that yeah, I'm up for that.
Yeah.
I can imagine the music is playing now, and it's
It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. And then 11:30 onwards, Finds Your Way to Kendall's very own speakeasy, The Blind Bus Driver. Listen to the careless whispers and follow the crowd.
We know where it is, just follow us.
If you want a nice cocktail.
Oh yeah. On fire, some of them. Let's be honest.
This is a place to go.
Yeah.
This is a place to be.
Yeah.
I think we can wholeheartedly all recommend the Saturday night, can't we?
Yes.
At the
Always
festival.
good.
Yeah.
Everyone's been a blinder.
Totally.
I'm happy that it is in the malt room, I must admit.
Yeah.
Just that bit more space.
Bit more space, yeah.
Definitely happy about that. Then we'll jump straight to the Sunday when everyone's waking up bleary-eyed.
And it's my son's 18th.
It is.
Cool.
Wow.
We're going to buy him a pint.
Fantastic.
He can buy us a pint. That's the way it should be.
Bless him.
So Sunday wakes up with a little like half workshop.
Right then, does everyone want to see your nipple?
I forget I'm on video. I was having a scratch. You're not meant to point it out. They can't see what I'm doing on the blooming recording.
They can all
What
imagine
to
it
say,
now,
really?
though.
Thanks. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I usually charge for that on video.
I wish I was a blind bus driver.
Draw your own monster with Hannah Eaton. That's what they think I look like. How to draw your own monster and create their worlds. Now, this is again for kids, but this is the best thing I think about drawing, just creating random creatures. Just letting imagination flow.
Her comic was very good as well, though. I remember reading it now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, I know which one you mean. Yeah, again, I'm just trying to see the spaces because I'm intrigued. Just popping my head round and having a look at these.
15 participants.
Yes. Well, we'll stand at the back. Yeah, no, that should be good fun. And then we've got another workshop which has, I believe,
I think it's
sold
sold
out.
out. Yeah.
Cool. Amazing.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
No,
Yeah.
they are brilliant, aren't they?
Mike, do you want to take this one? Because I think you got involved last year, did you, with this?
We did.
Yes, yeah, well, I think you were on it as well, weren't you?
Yeah, we
Both of you,
were. Yeah.
Hands and Faces drawing workshop with Lucy Sullivan. So Lucy's going to show a variety of techniques to help you tackle those trickiest of things, hands and features of faces. And yeah, it was brilliant last year. I know it was all part of the virtual festival, but I could obviously see that you two are online as well. Me and Alison sat there and we were scribbling away, and it was such an interesting couple of techniques that she was showing, and that was one of the biggest hits for me last year.
I think it's
thought it
also
was brilliant.
the way Lucy does it. Her whole personality just shines through.
Yeah.
And she shows real care for the people who are getting involved.
Yeah.
Really she's like the perfect teacher.
Yes.
Really makes you feel like you're doing well, even when you look at your work and you cry.
It's all right.
But no, if there is any places going, get involved. I think with that. I do believe it's sold out. What a Fur Cup, Martin Roussen. Martin is a multi-award winning cartoonist, illustrator, writer, graphic novelist, broadcaster, ranter, and poet. This last year in our live stream festival, we provided one of our highlights with an impromptu show and tell of his greatest works.
He's going to dress up as Bob Ross.
This year,
That's Bob.
he'll rant, he'll draw, he'll recite poetry, he'll dress up as Bob Ross. He might even draw some cartoons.
I'm going to this.
So that's 11 o'clock, not too early.
No, we
Gives
should
you
be
time
up by then.
to have your coffee and wake up. That could be fun.
That's going to be value for money.
Yes.
Yeah.
That looks like the clock tower in there. In
It
the
does,
picture.
doesn't it? Actually, it is, isn't it? With the
It does, you're right.
it is. It's got
Yes.
the lights.
Oh,
That looks
yes.
like some Kendalians on a Sunday morning as well.
Or the ones I see when I'm going to work at 3 a.m.
Then we've got Master of Comic Art with David Roach. This one is hosted by the lovely John Freeman.
Friend of the show.
A chat to David about his book, Masters of British Comic Art, and the work that he's done as well.
It clashes.
And David will reveal some upcoming Rebellion collection news for 2022 as well.
But it clashes.
It clashes.
Clashes with what a fur cup.
Clashes.
Oh, I've just realised what that means now.
And now you've just you've just made a point of it now. Pete, do you want to take this one?
Yeah. the Masters of Comic Art. I've seen it around. I haven't actually picked it up yet. It's the one with the sort of Abbey Road-esque cover.
Yes, it is, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's got different British comic characters replacing the Beatles on the front. But yeah, David Roach, he's a legend. His career, particularly in 2000 AD, is it's outstanding. What a draftsman.
Then we've got Meet the Residents as part of this year's international festival and in partnership with the Czech Literary Centre and Comic Art Europe. We offer you the opportunity to step into the world of artists in residence. So again, it's a chat with many of the Czech artists who are involved in the festival this year.
Yeah.
Discuss Sarah Beckham discussing time as resident comic artist in Prague as well. So again, could be really interesting to listen to. Do you want to take this one, love?
It's the art of creation. Instagram stars with attitude. Instagram is a hot platform for cartoonists, and here we feature 4 of the very best: Clarice Tudor, Kate Pryor, Jack Teagle, and
This is why Ian said, "Do you want to?"
I mean,
scanned ahead.
Miss, someone from Iceland. That's really bad, isn't it?
Darkson?
I don't want to.
Watch them
I
create.
hate you, Ian.
Watch them create posts live to Instagram. There you go.
Thank
Do
you
that bit.
for throwing me under the
Instagram, eh? Hot platform for artists. Maybe I should give it a try.
I've forgotten my password.
I guess this is kind of another live draw event.
Looks like it, yeah.
Post live to Instagram.
That's quite interesting, actually. Because that could benefit not just creators, just anyone. If you want to promote your work in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Totally.
Another
Little
Lycaf Awesome Comic Adventures with Neil Cameron. Please arrive at your designated start time. It says there's a couple of workshops. I just read that. It's like, please arrive at your designated start time.
You missed all the rest of it.
Yes,
And just
I just
came
saw
with that.
I felt I was being told off. Again, just brilliant sessions for kids. Multiple sessions there. So if you've got some kids you want to kick out the way for 45 minutes.
Awesome ideas for stories, then how to turn those stories into awesome adventures through the magic of comics.
Now, the reason I'm sort of rushing through that because I've looked through at the next one and I'm actually quite excited about this, even though I'm probably too old for it.
No, it says there's a price for over 18s.
So they're doing a stop motion animation workshop. Group of 10 to 15 participants will build basic morph style characters.
We've kind of done stop motion.
We have.
I was going to say, haven't you guys done a workshop before?
No, a workshop. I just did it myself.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I remember seeing it. It was great.
Yeah, never went anywhere.
Because we
As
didn't have the
many
right...
of Ian's projects. There's a start. There's never an end. It doesn't go. It's all right, dear. I still love you.
No, there is an end now. This is it.
We should just cut that. That's it.
Sound of a plate smashing.
We're gonna move on now. Who's taking the next one? Who wants it?
Oh, it's Stephen Appleby. Somebody else who's he was at one of the opening debates, wasn't he?
Yeah, it's the Marvel DC one, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's always good value. And Rachel Smith, who she's been to the Swansea Con a couple of times. She's great, really easy to talk to, and her comics are fantastic. That kind of real life slice of life, but that doesn't necessarily feel like it is, if you know what I mean. They've got a great feel to them, their comics. So I think it's people talking about that kind of story, isn't it? Artists who've used comics in different ways to tell their own story. So sort of biography comics with a twist, really.
Yeah.
Sounds amazing.
I just noticed, actually, Sarah Beckham I didn't realise Mongrel was her first graphic novel, but I guessed it was autobiographical. Okay.
I think autobiographical comics have really pulled me in over the years. From it's something I would never consider from when I started the podcast reading those. And
Was it Spinning that got you in?
No, it was. I've forgotten what it's called now. Anyway, Paula Knight's.
Yes.
Paula Knight's book that brought me into this new world. So
yeah, they're fab, aren't they? I mean, Sergio Aragonés does brilliant real life stories. He's got so many stories, and then he puts pen to paper in such a unique way. I think Dark Horse came out with a volume this year called Autobiographics, I think, or something like that. I love them. I think, especially in anthologies where you get different voices and different styles. Yeah. It's great.
Then we have Kigali, African Culture in Comics. Proud to welcome Zeke Nelson to Lycaf. Is Zeke, was he next to you last year, Pete?
He wasn't next to me, but I know Zeke. We went out for beers one year. He was upstairs, I was downstairs.
Right, okay.
But yeah, the last couple of times I went, I hooked up with Zeke. I bought his anthology. He's done, I think I've got 2 African anthologies, comics with. He's principally a writer, I think, and there was about 4 pairings in the comics. Gorgeous, lovely, very different. Some of them, there's one that was sort of very African myth and legend based. But yeah, he's lovely. He's a great guy.
It's one of the. I mean, the Kigali's been at the festival quite a few years now, and again, this is one of the great things about the festival, because I picked up. I think I picked up Volume 2 first, and then Volume 1 the next year. Volume 2 is a bit more mature. And it is the African myth and legend stuff, but such a variety of artwork, and it's just so different. And I would never have come across that if it wasn't for having a stand at the festival and having a chat to understand what is this about, and without the festival I would never have stumbled on that.
And Kigali signed a historic deal with Disney to make their first ever made-for-TV original animation series, i.e. not a spin-off from a movie.
Brilliant.
So that shows the growth, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so...
That's brilliant.
Yeah, worth checking that out, but certainly worth checking the comics out, if not. Then we've got Oliver East, who's always... intriguing and interesting in the work that he does. New paths in walking comics. During the national lockdown, he furthered his recent research into walking and drawing, using daily exercise allowance to produce Blocks, which is a collection of architecture comics recording in contested COVID territories. So yeah, he's usually walking around himself and taking groups of people and drawing, isn't he? But yeah, it could be intriguing. Then we've got another little Lycaf. We've got Mark Jackson jumping on the second day. Again, if you want to keep your kids entertained, send them over there. And then we've got the big live draw finale. Mike, do you want to take this one?
Oh, they are the finale for a reason. This is The Art of Creation. And this year, it's... for the first time, I suppose that they're looking forward to the fact that Halloween is quite close, and we've got Adelaide, Sean Phillips. I think those two are guaranteed, aren't they? Yeah. Simon Yole of 2000 AD and Zenith. Yes. And who else was there on there? Was it just the 3?
Those 3, yeah.
It's just the 3, yeah.
I could have sworn I wrote 3, there was 4. Oh, yes. These are just brilliant ways to finish the festival off, aren't they?
Yeah.
They are the highest attended things, I would have thought, because they fill the theatre room.
Yeah.
And there's always been something different or unexpected that just blows you away every year.
Yeah.
You could just sit down every day of the week, couldn't you, and watch Charlie Adlard draw anyway, and Shaw Phillips. And...
So with this one, they've got 15 minutes to create a respectable piece of art.
Yeah, I know it's that. That's a great word, isn't it? Got a dig.
I'm going to say, what's that dig at? Every year, it's absolutely amazing what they come out with.
And they said, Road Petition is on Sunday after that, just if you want to keep yourself busy. Then we've got the exhibitions now that I love. I love the exhibitions because this is what brings new stuff to me, for sure. So Cross Lane Projects, which is a bit further down from the brewery Art Centre.
It's hidden, isn't it? It's one of those ones that,
Martin Roussen, What a Fair Cup.
I get it now.
Has got a display of his work there, so that is definitely worth going and seeing.
Yeah.
Let's see, open Wednesday to Saturday, so it's open earlier as usual as well. So if you're in or around Kendal, you want to go and have a look at that.
Yeah, so it's
then you
Friday
certainly can do.
15th of October to Friday the 5th of November.
Always worth going to see. And then in Manchester, and also it's going to be at the Wildman Street Gallery as well. 10 Years to Save the World. Which the exhibition will showcase 10 comics in a variety of forms from 10 incredible artists. Again, I'm surprised I didn't think they were using Wildman Street Gallery this year.
No, but obviously they are.
Yeah. Go and check that out. And then in the Brewery Arts Centre, you've got Here and Now contemporary Czech comics. So again, I love the exhibitions.
Yeah.
Always love the exhibitions. And then almost finally, the comics
It was bound to happen.
The Comics Clock Tower. Some amazing names as usual.
This is why I don't exercise.
Unfortunately, there is no Pete, but some other big names there. And obviously, just reading off here.
Gustavo.
Everton
Shout out
Brothers.
to Gustavo and Simo Simpson. They're both there. It's annoying as well because I was upstairs this year for the first time in Donkeys. I was there. I was upstairs for the first year, and then I think I've had 3 downstairs. So I was due to be upstairs next to Gustavo this year. Damn.
We will be enticing him out for a drink. him and Simo will be.
I don't think you'll need to entice him. You'll probably find yourself joining some other art cult at the end of the night.
Michael will have a comic out this time next year.
Maybe on Disney Plus.
But also the virtual clock tower is continuing as well. So the creators in the clock tower will also be online for you to buy their wares, which is again another good thing from last year's online event. And then we've got the Windows Trail, so have a wander around Kendal, see Nicky's work.
If it hasn't slipped off.
If it hasn't slipped off.
If it has, just go in and put it up for us.
No, then they'll see the back.
No. and that's a programme. We're all the way through it. So is there anything that jumps out that you think is a must?
Do you know, there's one tiny one that I reckon it's going to be really good. It's one of the late night after hours ones. Just quickly scrolling back. But yeah, you know, cartoonist Scott Shaw.
Okay.
Oh yes, yeah.
He's a big humour comics guy. I've read a lot of his Captain Carrot, less some of the licensed stuff, but presenting a sideshow of the craziest comic books ever published. You can just imagine, can't you? You know, we've touched on this sometimes, me and Mike, in occasional Facebook searches, haven't we? But that, I reckon, that if there's any sort of medium that is perfect for the craziest elements in its comics, there's going to be some fantastic stuff in there.
Mike, how about you? Is there the one in particular you want to make sure you don't miss?
Oh, there's so many good ones. I have to say, first of all, it has to be the live draw events always for me, and it's always hard because there's normally a clash with the ones that are on the Saturday.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the hardest part of deciding. But live draw normally wins out for me, and the finale for me looks superb.
You're just rubbing it in now, Mike.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry, not sorry. Anything that stands out for yourself?
Live draws.
Live draws.
All the way.
I've got to say, my boy, Jeff.
Your boy, Jeff.
My boy, Jeff, has got to be
best mate.
Up there. For sure. So that's as we record in a week on Friday.
I bet buy Joe a birthday
Amazing,
present.
Crazy. Absolutely crazy.
I did notice the last live draw is live streamed.
Yes.
So that's a big plus as well. I really like the fact that they're doing that. You know, it's really connective. I think it's going to encourage people to be sort of part of the festival in future, hopefully.
Yeah.
And I hope that they record some of the other stuff and just get it up online, even if it's just down the line, just so that people can see what's involved.
Yeah.
You know, what's going on as well. But no, it's looking good.
Yep.
Glad we're almost back to normality in majority of ways.
Getting there. I mean, I've had, 2 emails in 2 days saying that James has been in close contact with someone with COVID, so we're trying to dodge it still.
We'll be all right.
We'll
do it. We'll do it. Right. Well, thank you very much, gentlemen, for your time this evening.
Been an honour.
My pleasure.
I'd like to say we'll see you in a few weekends, but as we keep saying, we won't see you, Pete. But
He keeps rubbing that in.
But we will have a pint for you.
A cocktail.
Yes.
One that's on fire.
Yes. Please. That would be good.
Yeah. But we can tell you all about it.
I'm gutted. I'm absolutely gutted.
I know you are. I know you are. Yeah, thank you for your time. And once again, thank you for the support for the podcast for this past year as well. You two are the backbone.
Yeah.
Backbone of the show.
The yak bone.
And you say you can't do comedy.
I just proved it.
Thank you very much, gentlemen, and thank you everybody for listening. And if you see us around the festival, either any of us, just come and say hello.
Yeah.
And of course, we'll sign autographs. Not a problem at all.
No photos.
No photos. Yeah, no touching me. Don't touch me.
Brilliant.
Thank you very much, everybody. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. Find out more about the festival at comicartfestival.com. Find out more about the show and how to contact us at comicartpodcast.uk. Find us on Twitter, Facebook and Instagram. Music composed by Pop Noir.